Alright, another video response. This Jay guy, calls himself some kind of bastard.
Alright. I want to talk a little bit about an exchange I had with Inmendham. Inmendham. Doubtful he'll ever see this, but in Brokmech.
I don't know why it's doubtful. I mean, I watch people's videos, especially got my name in the damn title. I'm going to notice it.
You might want to chime in on this, because you're a socialist. He was ranting about how unfair it was that people are rich enough to buy gold-plated toilets.
It's not really that the unfairness of them being rich enough. I was arguing that that's the practical effect of allowing people to accrue these preposterous amounts of money, is that they just waste the money. And I used Egypt as an example. Instead of building Hoover dams, they wasted their money on fucking useless, pointy things in the desert. So 100, 200 years with a human sweat and labor went into preposterous nonsense. And that waste is waste. It has a real consequence.
And I commented that I thought that selling gold-plated toilets to rich people was exploitation of the rich, not the other way around.
Yeah, that's because you're not getting it, okay? When money is wasted, that degrades, okay, the value of work, all right? So that changes the equation. So that, that means that waste has to come out of the laborer. He has to do more work now. He has to create more productivity to make up for that lost, that useless, wasted work. Okay, I mean, it sort of is the ultimate sin, in my opinion, to waste labor.
Because it's their stupid pursuits that give folks like us the money to put bread on the table.
Well, again, now you're saying that they give you the money. How did they acquire the money? They acquired the money by extracting a profit off of their ownership of a slave, an employee, a worker. Now that surplus can be converted into grain. It can be converted into lots of different things. If they convert it into a gold toilet, if that's what they use it for, is to hire somebody's time and sweat to build a gold toilet. What I'm saying is, if you take all that waste, the gold toilets, the F-16s, the bullshit waste, the gold-plated ceilings, the marble ceilings, the statuettes, all the bullshit, and you make a pile looking like a pyramid, okay? Take all the crap, the yachts, all the crap. It's the same thing. It's a big giant pyramid when you add it all up, and it's just as obscene as a waste. If all that energy, all that sweat, all that labor had been directed towards building a Hoover Dam, it would have lasting value into the decades into the future. It would enhance people's life. It would give us all a higher standard of living. It would make us all capable of living better. It would be hugely productive for reducing deprivation in the human community. That's the difference. You can't have both, okay? If you waste the resources on bullshit, it comes out of what you're losing, where you could have devoted those resources.
So all of the industry that goes into servicing people that have too much money is a good thing.
Yeah, well, the same argument can be made about every bit of government spending, and it would be a much more realistic argument. When we throw money at the government, it goes into people's pockets, and then they buy food for their kids and a tricycle and all the other bullshit that goes on. And some of that work might be highly unproductive and bureaucratic and nonsensical, but the bottom line is it does employ people now. So that work has a hell of a lot. It does. I mean, the roads get paved, the potholes get filled, the fires get put out. So you can bitch and complain about this horrible government thing, but it's a hell of a lot better than somebody working to gold-plate a toilet. I mean, that work is more productive than that work. So, I mean, your argument is completely inconsistent.
Would it be fair if everybody had the same amount of money?
Now, who's arguing for that? It's not me, not the other guy. Nobody's arguing for that. Okay, we are defending the value of work. We are defending the owner of the surplus, the worker, the man who created the productivity. That's what we're defending. No one's defending everybody having the same amount of money. It's not in my videos anywhere. I've talked about a progressive system. I mean, I've used the words. I call what I advocate incentive economics. I've never called myself a socialist. I've never even come close to calling myself a communist. All right? I believe in incentive economics. Rational, regulated incentive economics. You want to slander it with your straw men? Well, you can do that, okay? But I think to any intelligent observer, they're going to see that that's all you did. You built a big fat straw man, and you're having an argument with it, and I'm over there, okay? I'm not even close. What I'm advocating isn't anywhere near the game you're playing.
Yeah, it would be fair, but it wouldn't be Earth either. You're never going to get that.
Well, like I said, I'm not advocating that.
Because, think about it. If you can't win the hearts and minds of the population...
well, like I said, I've never advocated anything else but a democratic decision to change the system. Yes, so it's right. It's about having the argument. You're claiming I'm not persuasive. Fine. Go ahead and claim it.
To convert to socialism or communism or what, utopia, where everybody's the same.
Yeah, well, like I said, again, that's a straw man argument. So you're saying that the argument that's defeating me is the fact that you can build a straw man and suffocate me with your straw man. You can pile so much straw man on top of me that my argument will disappear and you'll win. I'm going to argue that, no, people are probably smarter than that, and they can see that this argument is not taking place, that you're arguing with something that has nothing to do with what I'm advocating. And so, you can say I'm not winning. You can say I'm not making a difference. Go ahead and say it. I don't necessarily believe it because you're sort of indicating there's some desperation. I mean, you're so desperate to try to say I'm not winning that you're piling a big pile of bullshit on top of me to pretend I don't exist.
And all of us as friends.
Then that society will be even more oppressive than the one we have now.
Yeah, whatever. Like I said, you want to keep using those canards. Was the society oppressive in the 1950s when there was a 90% tax bracket? I think in the 70s it was 80%. Was that everybody was under the guns were everywhere? The government was pointing big guns. Everybody was afraid of the government. Everybody hated the government. I don't think so. I lived through that decade. It was rather okayish.
Because everyone would be oppressed. The thing that really scares me, the day that we have socialism forced upon us...
What scares me is that people can't even come close to staying on point or on the argument. So, you want to argue about somebody who's imposing socialism on you? Well, then go find that person and argue with them. But don't slander me by putting my name on your video when you're not arguing anything I've advocated.
I can see someone busting my door down and hitting my kids in the head and stepping on my neck and shooting my...
No offense, but you don't really have a neck. So I don't think somebody could actually manage that.
Life. So that you can get your hands on the people's money.
Yeah, whatever. Like I said, it's you want to play this game. You want to play this nonsensical game that every time you buy gasoline, there's a tax on it. The government just shoved a gun in your face through your car window and said, "Pay the fucking tax." Go ahead, play your little silly games.
In my mattress. That's a scary thing. Another scary thing is who is going to decide what has value.
Democracy is going to decide. The people will decide. If you have a rational, good democracy, we can fix this democracy. Instant runoff voting, get rid of the geographic bias in the voting districts, have a real Congress that represents all the people, not just the same majority as elected in each pocket. But anyway, yeah, that's right. You go through the process. You argue, you discuss, you come to a decision as a collective of human beings, and you make decisions about what is going to be declared right and what is going to be declared wrong.
And what is obscene. I'm a good socialist, let's just say. I've worked all my life for the peoples, and I've squatted away a couple of bucks here and a couple of bucks there because my dream is that sometime before I die, I can take a shit on a gold toilet. Is there going to be someone that says, no, you can never...
Well, like I said, I don't think a democracy is going to sit there and say that you can't do this and you can't do that. If you really earned your money, you didn't inherit it, you didn't get it through some other cheat. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a huge argument. Society might say you're an asshole. They might want to declare you one officially, put up a big sign in your front yard saying, this guy is the ultimate fucktard. But I have no interest in sticking a gun in your face and saying you can't waste your fucking money. No, people can be assholes. You'll still have the freedom to be an asshole.
Shit on the gold toilet? Think about it. And you think, well, that's ridiculous. No, it's not.
I'd rather not think about it. It's, number one, it's preposterous nonsense. Doesn't have anything to do with anything being proposed. We have policies now. I'm just suggesting we change the policies, okay? It's not a new invention of policy. Policy exists now, okay? And some of the policies are really, really stupid. And I'm saying we modify and change them to make them less stupid.
That fishing rod over there has value to me. It doesn't have value to you because you don't fish. Well, guess what? You're going to tell me I can't have a freaking fishing rod?
Like I said, I'm talking about the inheritance of the ownership of the capitalist system. I'm talking about the owners of trillions and trillions of dollars. And you're going to argue about fishing rods. Sorry. I'm not going to play.
It scares me that when the government has to say over what people can have and what they can't have.
Well, like I said, they already have that say now. They just wasted your money to bail out the richest people in the world. So they basically said you can't have. They basically stole a big pile of your money and gave it to the richest people in the world, idiot.
Up to and including being rich. And you go, well, that's bullshit. Well, no, it's not bullshit.
It's bullshit for somebody to have a leg up, as Renato puts it, in the race of life. Yes, it's bullshit. If we can make the system fair, we have every obligation to make it fair. There's some things we can't fix about reality in the world, but there's a lot of things we can fix.
If you can't win the hearts and minds of the population, then what you propose is oppressive.
Well, whatever, exactly. I'm making videos. Am I making gun videos? Am I making some other kind of video? No. I'm making videos explaining why it is rational to change the policies we have. You want to sit there and say I'm doing something else? Well, go, like I said, go argue with this other person you're arguing with.
What I would like to hear, instead of an angry rant that calls whoever you're arguing with a maggot or a, pointing their scurvy.
Yeah, well, look, you keep calling people commies and socialists, okay? So fuck you. I'll call you anything I motherfucking want to because you have no rules about what words you will malign people with. So bullshit on you.
Finger, scurvy.
Well, I do say, yes, it's the ultimate weaselly kind of behavior for some fucking cunt like Donald Trump, who inherited $10 million in real estate, to start off with such a huge advantage and then talk like he's some kind of self-made man. I mean, nobody could fail with $10 million in New York real estate in 1965. Nobody could fail.
At someone is to just say how you would go about implementing socialism.
Well, look, it's not that. It's a matter of modifying the fucking goddamn rules we now have. So you just change the fucking rules, one little rule at a time. You want the whole thing laid out for you, the whole fucking blueprint. I don't think you need that. I don't even think you care. All right, because it seems obvious your objective is not to discuss the reality of the circumstance. You're discussing some other circumstance.
What form would that take? How would you make that happen? Because if you agree with me that you need to win the hearts and minds of people, then I would suggest, Gary, that you need to change your style.
Well, whatever. Why should I take advice from somebody who can't have an argument with somebody they're arguing with? I mean, you resort to straw and bullshit, and I'm supposed to take your advice? You know, whatever. I mean, who knows what the right tactic is to get through the drones, the slaves' heads. I mean, yeah, so, you know, that's like the house slaves during the Civil War. They were like all panicked, like, oh my God, what's going to happen? You know, we're not going to have no job no more. You know, and so they panicked. But it's just because they didn't really understand, okay, that they could be a lot more than the house slave, that they had a lot more potential. They had been so beaten down into thinking they were valueless and that their work wasn't worth anything, and that they weren't worth anything, that they couldn't imagine a better world where they were actually valued. So yes, I've got my work cut out for me, because there's obviously a lot of fucktards who don't understand how the economy works and how the economy, the system, the rich have marginalized every human being in this world and turned them into a commodity to be used up like a glass of Kool-Aid.
Because you're not winning any brownie points with the population.
Well, what? Who's the population? You're the population? Who's the population? Who is that? And I'm not after brownie points. Whatever. Like I said, you want to talk political strategy and who's more effective? What? I'm not Rush Limbaugh enough? He's effective. He's full of shit, but he's effective. So is that the game I should play? Or shall I be an Obama and just spout a bunch of platitudes and nonsense? It's effective, but it's not fucking real.
Just a thought. On Brokmech, I would love to hear, you know, all the pie in the sky, this is the right way to do it. I can agree with all those things. I want to hear how it's going to be done in a fashion that actually makes the society that you envision.
Well, like I say, it can happen simply. I mean, you just say, okay, here's the new progressive tax rate on inheritance. It starts at 32% on the first $10,000, and it increases by a percentage point with every $10,000. Okay, there, bingo, end of the conversation. Okay, now inheritance effectively, grotesque inheritance has now effectively been eliminated. So, you know, what? It's not that fucking complicated. It's not a matter of the means or the method. It's a matter of the will. If you have the will to do it, it's easily done. Okay, you can fix every cheat and every manipulation, every abuse of a system by merely breaking what exists and getting rid of the shit that exists in it, the back doors and the cheats that are built into the system. You can create fairness. Again, this is all it's about. You can write rational, fair rules if you have the will to do it.
Because it's a beautiful butterfly. But once you shove that butterfly down the throats of the masses.
Again, it's me and him are advocating for the rights to be exercised by the masses. If the masses don't want it, we're not going to start a revolution for the non-masses. All right, so it's all about the masses, and if the masses are too fucking stupid, if they can't step out of their stepford wife's, drone-ish subservience to the lords, well then that's it. We failed. It's too bad. Tough luck on us, okay? But we're not going to be running in any war unless the masses are right the fuck behind us.
You killed it, buddy. Give me a clue.
Yeah, well, I can't give you a clue. You have to actually build a clue in your brain, all right? I mean, you have to take the seeds of information and facts and figures, and you have to build the clue, all right? I mean, we've given you the numbers. It's preposterously obscene. We have the same fucking disproportional balance in the holding of wealth that we had in 1929. Right there, bingo. We have a debt situation that's ludicrous, where there are 3 times as many tickets, debt tickets, than there are assets to pay the fucking debt. We have lots of situations here that just point to the fact that this cannot be sustained, that it has been a fake growth, and we have been feeding off of exploitation. I can spell that out for you, okay? I mean, we broke the American wage standard by competing, by saying, let's let the desperate people decide what our wage scale will be. I mean, the obvious can be seen. You just have to open your eyes, but I can't give you the clue, okay? say the A, the B, the C, or the 1, or the 2, or the 3. I mean, it's 2 plus 2 equals 4. It's if you can't do addition, it doesn't matter what numbers I throw at you. I can't clue you if you can't do the fucking math. Okay, enough of a whatever metaphor. So anyway, look, I don't want to get into some kind of fight with you, but really, argue with what I'm advocating, not some, jargon, not some bogeyman that you're going to build out of, Lenin's face and Stalin's fist and, Castro's hair. I mean, fuck that shit. So I gotta find the off button. Lots of videos. Tired.